Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Simply Together show. Hello, everybody. So it's the 19th of March and it's a bit grey out there and I've got to go out and do my shopping. So I'm hoping it's going to get sunny. Is it going to get sunny? Has anybody watched the weather?
It's going to get warmer. I don't know about sunny.
Warmer. Okay, warmer.
It's getting sunny here.
You don't have to rub that in. You know, just because you've got a bit of sun where you are, we haven't. We've got none. Okay, there's none. So we have got two guests on the show today. We have this gentleman that sat in his car, looking very worried, but we're going to be gentle. It'll be fine. So we've got Wayne, who's going to be coming on and telling us all about the stuff that he's been doing, what he's doing, and what he's going to do. And then we have got Scott from Luton Council.
Yes, you'll have to explain it, but Luton Council is the best way to describe him. Yes.
Okay. And he is going to be telling us about the big weekend, isn't he?
Yes. BBC One. Well, BBC
Radio 1 big weekender. Yeah. And I'm already wanting to get my tickets for Friday, and now I've seen Saturdays. It's kind of like, oh God.
There is.
Oh no, what's coming on the Sunday?
Tomorrow, Sunday is the bigger acts. It's not the Saturday. The Sunday are the bigger acts.
So it's over 3 days, is it?
Yes.
Over 3 days.
Yes.
Friday night, full day Saturday, full day Sunday.
And this is at Luton. Who is it?
Stockwood Park.
Oh, okay.
Stockwood Park. Chasing Status and Rudimental on the Friday. That's where I'm going. Might have to give the Saturday a miss because I've got a wedding to go to. Then we'll see what's on the Sunday. Okay, so he's going to come on later on to have a chat with us about that. So I am going to talk to Wayne. Wayne Pilgrim, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Are you sure? You don't look it.
No, do I look really worried? I'm not worried. I'm pretty much relaxed.
Good.
I'm worried about what you're going to ask me, maybe.
So for anybody who is actually out there listening, watching us, let us know you're there. I've known this young man for many years. Yes. A few years. Oh, see, Deez there already. Greetings, Wayne. See, greetings already. And many of you may know him as well. Was a local lad, not local now, but spend a lot of time down here.
I'm always backwards and forwards. I've always been moving around all the time. So I'm back every other week or every 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
So tell us a little bit then about what you've been doing over these past few years, because I know you wear many different hats.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? Do I go back to my youth?
Oh, go on then.
Well, I don't know. I started when I left school. I went to Barnfield College for a year doing a foundation course. And in between that time, I was working for my cousin, trying to get a bit of extra money in by hairdressing.
Okay.
And when I tried to get on a course, full-time course at Barnfield for hairdressing, and kind of got discouraged from it, to be honest. It was a bit of a weird one, but I ended up doing day release there and working for my cousin. Took up an apprenticeship in hairdressing.
Okay. So what discouraged you?
I think it's systems, because you imagine at the time, when I think about it, I must be the first black male ladies hairdresser in the town.
Yeah.
And at the time when I went to Barnfield, I went to get on the course, and I remember the lady saying to me that I didn't know scissor control, and I asked her what it was, and I said, well, how can I learn scissor control if I've never done hairdressing before and I'm applying for the course?
Exactly.
So what happened was, the guy who was running the course was a guy called Bill Tilsley. And when I came back to do the day release course, I explained to him what happened, and he was fuming. And he would have loved me to be on the full-time course, and because of that, I didn't get on it. And scissor control was something that you would have been taught. You would never know that before you started doing a course.
No, of course you wouldn't. So, okay, I'm thinking back to those kind of days, and I don't know. I don't think there was any black men cutting women's hair. Is there?
No, there wasn't many in London. There wasn't many in London at all. There was
right.
There was one guy in Harlesden, because I ended up working in Harlesden, and he I forgot what his name was now, but he used to work with a lady called Madam Rose, and that was in the 60s. But up until that time, there wasn't many men hairdressers doing ladies hairdressing. Barbers, but not ladies hairdressing.
Yeah.
And I kind of stumbled into it because of my cousin, because I was just making extra money shampooing hair. And because I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do with my life, I ended up slipping into hairdressing, which was actually really good.
And it's something you still do? Yes,
from time to time. Yeah, I still do bits of it. It taught me a hell of a lot. This exhibition I'm going to get to later on is one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because people don't actually kind of underestimate what skills you need as a hairdresser. Because you need to be able to, you have to have a level of empathy with people. You have to be able to make judgments very quickly. So, and you've got to be good at listening to people. Do you see what I mean? So, and interpreting what they want, because it's not about what you want to do. You need to have a happy medium between what you think you can give a client, and what the client expects from you. If you see what I mean.
So when they come walking in and they show you this picture and say, I want to look like that, you have to then think, can you even do that? Will that even look good? And say that in a very nice way. Yeah,
you got to be very tactful, because it's just that you can imagine if you wanted a hairstyle, but you don't dress the way that hairstyle looks, it doesn't work, does it? So for as a hairdresser, you need to be able to judge these people. They're not in a bad way, but to kind of understand whether it would work or not. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't work all the time, but you need to be a good hairdresser is good at that. So you have to have an idea of fashion trends and personalities as well, because sometimes your personality is shown through your hairstyle.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
It gets quite deep. And this is what I was saying with the exhibition I was trying to do is to kind of highlight all these bits that people don't seem to understand.
Yeah.
You imagine over a 10-year period of doing someone's hair, you build up a rapport with people. You can understand them, you understand what their wants and needs are, but not directly wanting to be personal with them, but you get to understand that.
Yeah. So and Shelley, go on.
But for me now, all those skills have I didn't realize have become so useful for me now in my real life.
Well, as opposed to your pretend life.
Yeah, well, with the photography, I ended up doing fashion and editorial photography, and my understanding of hair and how hair works and fashion kind of worked with that, and also dealing with people. Do you see what I mean? So I don't think I probably sound more confident now, but when I was younger, I wasn't that confident. So hairdressing gave me a little bit more confidence to deal with people, if you see what I mean. So there's a lot of things from hairdressing you could kind of transferable skills. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yes, transferable skills. Yes, and you clearly have them because you've then moved on into other things as well. But just before that, Shelley was saying that your hairdresser can know more than what your partner knows. Because you're talking. Yeah,
and that's the funny thing about it. And there's also a level of intimacy. Not well, I say intimacy because you got to be tactile. You're touching people. Especially if you think about barbers with men. Men don't touch men, but they allow their barber to.
Yeah. And also, because you get up, it's not even like you're just touching. You have to get up close and personal, don't you?
Yeah, you're
If
inside
coming in
someone's
the
personal
sun.
space.
Yeah, yeah.
You think about it. If anyone comes in within that much of your space,
yeah,
it's invading that space. But you're allowing someone to come into that space, and you feel comfortable about it. It takes a lot.
So how is that? How is it then that men who don't like touching each other then allow their barber to do that and get up close and personal?
It's a trust thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think about it, if you walk into a salon, I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier. You walk into a salon to have your hair done, and you've never been in there before. How can you feel that level of trust?
Yeah.
You're slightly apprehensive, haven't you?
Yeah.
So that barrier has to be broken down very quickly in a short period of time. So that's a skill that people may not understand that hairdressers have.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose that's why some clients stay with the same hairdresser for years, because of that trust.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you moved on to, did you then move into photography from there?
I probably spent 10 to 15 years doing hairdressing from the age of probably 17. And then I picked up my brother actually sold it to me, tight kit, but he gave me his camera. I started messing about with it, and an ex-girlfriend, her brother said to me, why don't I go on a course? That's Harry Sterling, actually, at the youth house. Yeah. So I went on
the youth house.
Yeah. So I did a 5-day course in St Albans, Hertfordshire College.
Right.
City and Guild's introduction to black and white photography. And I was about 4 marks away from a distinction, having not printed. And then took an interest in it because I found something else I could do well. Do you see what I mean? So, and then I ended up getting on to I tried to get on the O-level course, evening class at Barnfield, and it was full up. So they put me on the A-level course. The guy said to me, I've got a bit of an eye for it. So he goes, why don't you just do a full-time course? And luckily enough, that was in September, and luckily somebody had dropped out of the full-time course, and I got onto it. So that's how it all started.
And that was meant to be?
No, I think so.
Yeah. Well, you've got an exhibition coming up, so I think it was meant to be. Paying for the camera from your brother, that's a bit out of order. However, that doesn't surprise me. So that's fine. He owes you now, doesn't he?
No, I owe him, because if I didn't get that camera, I wouldn't have done it.
Oh, okay. All right,
we'll let him off. Don't let him hear it, though.
So I've seen you put your photos up on social media, and they are fabulous. They are. Yeah. So anyone out there, you need to go and have a look. Go and have a look. They are really good. They are really, really good. Why are you looking like that?
I'm listening to you. I'm just listening. Do I look worried again? Do I? No.
Yeah, you're looking like, why is she saying that?
No, I'm just listening.
So tell us about this exhibition then that you've got coming up.
Well, it's based in an old hairdresser's. So it's in Great Yarmouth, and I wanted to kind of it's like an installation, and I'd call it. So I've got pictures on the wall. Well, I have pictures on the wall in this old hairdresser's, which it was abandoned exactly how it was, and it looks like it was in the 1970s. The styling of the inside of there.
Wow.
So I thought it'd be great to exhibit in there. So what I'm going to do, what I'm trying to do, I'm still piecing it together, is a soundscape. So the music, because I DJ, all the sound in the salon, you'd have a radio on, or you'd have music, wouldn't you? So that's all my music. And then I'd have my images on the wall. And then I'd do a little bit of hairdressing inside that space as well. So everything's, and what I was trying to do, fingers crossed I might be able to get it together, but I wanted to put a magazine together which someone would sit underneath a hairdryer and read or you were waiting to have your hair done. So inside that, it would have I've done all types of photography. All of that would be like a portfolio put into a magazine. So my hair and beauty stuff, my portraits, my music photography, food, landscape stuff. So all of that all put into one magazine.
Wow.
If I don't get it done for this, it's going to be done anyway.
Yeah,
and
it's going to be done at some point.
Yeah. So what I've been doing now, I'm looking at how, because COVID slowed everything down for me, I started to look at how I address photography, and I'm trying to move it more into an art form than just advertising and different types of photography, if you see what I mean.
Wow. So, because time is running out, so before you tell us about your music and your chili jam, if you need any models of a certain age, you know, this kind of age, there's a few of us here who could do that. But we have one particular person, Shelley, the lovely Shelley Titmus, our producer and co-host today, who has a picture of herself holding our book, because we are co-authors. We've got a couple of books.
Oh, okay.
Right. So that would be, she knows how to pose with a magazine, for example, and having her hair done. So that would work very well. But I can also be a model as well. Just letting you know, just in case.
I was going to mention about your hair, but I thought I'd better stop there.
What, as in it's okay? It's not okay? Will it do?
I'll tell you what I would do. What I would like is actually, I've been trying to do an exhibition, and it's based on nurses in Luton, old West Indian nurses. So I've got a couple of nurses I've photographed and interviewed, in a sense, but that was something I still ongoing. So all the older West Indian nurses who came over in the 50s and 60s, 70s, I want to do a portrait of them and get their story.
Wow.
So I've started that. That's actually been going, but COVID slowed it down, and I've got probably about 5 or 6 nurses. But I'd be very interested in to get their stories and get that put into one thing, because it's something I could give back to the community. You know what I mean? And that's the one thing I really want to do.
And I'm sure somewhere along the line, Simply Deez could help you with that in some shape or form, because we do a lot of stuff out in the community. It might be that we know a few people or whatever. So, yeah, that could...
See, the thing is, my mum was a nurse as well. So I contacted some of the nurses through that. But I can understand, because I'm going into their environment and photographing them in their own homes. So a lot of these people are getting on. So they're a little bit weary, if you see what I mean. Yeah. So it's not so much... The hardest part is the research and getting people on board with it. The actual picture taking is probably I find that a lot easier. But that's the harder part of doing documentary photography, is the research and trying to get people on board with the idea. But I think... that would be a great thing to show, especially in England. You see what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And Dee has said that we know some and they've wrote a book. So she obviously knows some people, some of the nurses, and they've written a book. And Dee. So there's that connection anyway. But whilst you're thinking of that, maybe you can think of some kind of something for the likes of myself or Shelley and Dee, so we can be models, and maybe we've got a story to tell as well. Just bear that in mind.
Well, you was an old rude girl, weren't you?
Still am, thank you very much. Still am.
Well, there you go. So you just got to get dressed up
now. And I know we've got time and we've got to move on. But my daughter went to Leeds University to do fashion photography. And yes, Dee, I know you can sing. Dee can sing. So whether you want some pictures of her singing, Dee can sing. Okay, I'm just telling you that because she keeps saying it. My daughter went to Leeds and did fashion photography. And her first assignment, she did she went to one of the gigs, one of my Scar gigs. She took photos of the skinheads and the rude girls and what have you, and she actually took a picture of me and my son with our jackets on and what have you. So I can do that because I know how to do that. I can do that. So just get in touch with me when you're ready. Quickly, before I need to pass over to Shelley, chili jam.
Right. Yeah. I've been making chili jam, smoked chili jam, which is it's weird. It came out of the fact I was locked in as lockdown and stuff, and I started playing about, and then I grew some peppers, really hot peppers, and I didn't realize how much you get harvest from it, and I was just struggling so I started fermenting pepper sauce, and made some jams, and then I decided to make this smoky chili jam, and it's just launched. Go out and get one.
And where is it? And it's in one of your local shops.
It's got to. I've market researched it in a sense that people have tried it, and I started selling one or two of them. And when I placed it in a Fleetwood Butchers in Great Yarmouth in Galston, and they won awards for making sausages.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it with them, and they really like it. So that's the first step. So what I'm going to do is branch out from there. But I want to make sure it's a good product.
We need some down here in Luton.
I'm coming up, so I'll have some ready with me. I've already done a load of them. So
right, so you need to let me know so I can get some. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of a freebie for having you on the show. I don't know. Yes.
What, for putting me through this?
Yes, for putting you through this. Yes. Right. So all your socials have been going around there. We will share them on our Simply Deez Events page so that people know who you are. And obviously everybody is going to be in touch with you, and we're going to make you a millionaire. We know that. If you've got time to hang around, then hang around. I don't know what you're doing next. Have you got a shoot off? What are you doing?
I'm around to probably up till 1:45.
Okay. If you can hang around, then hang around. And you can listen to Scott talking about what's going on that weekend. And then if we get a chance, we'll get you back on the end. But thank you for coming on. Thank you. It wasn't as bad as you thought, was it?
No, I didn't think it'd be bad. It's just I probably would have talked you to death if I had the chance. There's loads more I would have said about.
We can get you on again. We will get you on again, and you can tell us the rest of it.
Okay.
Is that right, Shelley?
Yeah. Wayne, I don't know whether you can see this, but there's comments coming in because they were saying about the picture that Cecile was on about. I'm going to show you a picture of myself. When we did the book launch, we were showing people how when we was doing, you had to pose with the book.
Right.
Can you see that?
I've got a bad cough. But it's not that.
If someone was going to do something silly with their picture, I was going to do it. There was another one that's like this, but I'm not going to put that out on the telly. It was in the bathroom, so you can think about somewhere else where you might read a book. But
oh no! All right, good job you didn't say that one. Show me that one. I'll be choking. Oh dear. Thanks for brightening up my day.
Going on about, show the picture. I don't really have to.
Right,
so hang around, and we're going to listen to.
I've got my work cut out for me, haven't I?
Yeah. Hand you over to Shelley now. You can introduce Scott.
Well, all I've got is a video from Scott. First thing this morning, my voice is still as bad as it is a little bit now. I think all I need to do is just press play and it will play out. Hello.
Hi, Shelley. How are you? Good morning.
A little bit of a pre-record, so we're in the morning. We're in the morning with our cups of tea. How are you, Scott? getting on
I'm
well?
great, thank you. Absolutely buzzing for Radio 1's big weekend to come to Luton in a couple of about 65 days time, I think it is now.
Oh, you're doing it in days.
So
We're not even doing it in weeks.
we're not even doing it weeks anymore. We're on days. Literally, we are counting down the minutes until that first act goes on to that main stage at 4:00 on Friday the
Friday, isn't it? Yeah.
24th of Friday the 24th of May. Yeah, so
It's going to be a fantastic one. Fantastic one. For you in particular, you're going to be juggling quite a lot of different things because you're here today because we're talking about the sort of the festival itself kind of thing. So we're going to call it a festival. And then the volunteering as part of that. But you yourself do, like myself, end up wearing quite a lot of hats around the community. Is that the politest way of saying it?
a busy bee, I think is a yeah. So as well as my day job being a community development manager at Luton Council, so engaging with our community and our voluntary sector, I'm also one of the trustees of Pride in Luton. I'm also an ambassador for Step Forward Luton. And right now as well, I'm heading up the Luton Rising Festival Maker Programme for Radio 1's big weekend. So yeah, so lots on, but lots of exciting stuff coming up for our community as, you know, as we gear up. We've just had an incredible, we're filming this, in March. So we just had an incredible St. Patrick's. We've got the big iftar on Friday. You know, we're getting right into that season of so much going on in the town. And when people say, you know, there's nothing going on in Luton, and it's like, just look at the Step Forward website, look at the What's On guide there, and actually you'll see there's so much going on, so much going on in the town for people to get involved in.
I mean, Luton has always been, and I can say this because I'm sort of like the fourth generation Lutonian, there always has been stuff going on. Because with such a different cultures going on, we've always just got on with it and done things. And for us to show up in all these different reports and everything else, that it's, oh yeah, Luton's this and Luton's that and the other, it's not right. When you're actually living here, there's so much to do. I mean, for instance, just having us now here in March talking about like the big weekend being in like the end of May, if you like, so many different events that's coming up before that, but you've got a particular role that you're now taking on, as you just said, sort of the Luton Rising Festival Maker, training people up to actually be volunteers at some of these events. Now, for myself, I was a scout, I was a guide to start off with, and I worked in St John Ambulance. So I've done a lot of volunteering at different events. And to be a volunteer at these events is completely different to you actually just going. You're part of the whole network of what's kind of going on. You're part of it and you can see what's going on and you can actually make a difference. And also in your future career, if it is that you're of that younger persuasion, having you down as a volunteer at any of these big events on your CV will get your CV up on the top. I can tell you that from experience. And you just said just before we came and started doing this recording, you would know that yourself too, because I didn't quite get that far in scouting. But what was it that you are? What did you do in scouting?
Yeah, so I got a Queen Scout award when I was younger, but yeah, but you know, I think you're absolutely right. The opportunity to volunteer is one, and amazing because you're giving something back to the town, but also two, you've got that opportunity to really be part of something special. How often is it we're going to have 100,000 music fans, you know, come into Luton to hear some of the biggest acts in the world perform in Stockwood Park? You know, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, a bit like those people who volunteered at the Olympics, you know, in 2012. It's once in a lifetime opportunity. And let's remember, it's not just about Radio 1's big weekend. There's a whole host of things, as I've said, going on, what people can get involved and volunteer all year round in, whether that be from St. Patrick's Day or Carnival, what's moved to Monday the 28th, is it? 27th,
yes.
Monday the
27th,
Monday the 27th, you know, so they're looking for volunteers as well. That's going to be a great weekend for Luton. But then you've got Pride coming up in July, you've got Desi Fest in July as well, you've got Diwali in October, you've got One Eid in in April as well coming up, you know, so there's a whole host of things where people can get involved in volunteering with. I think with the festival makers, one thing what's really, really unique to it is actually we're going to register people, and we're going to give you a bit of training through our adult learning team in the council. So you can get some learning in customer services, a bit in communication, a bit in health and safety. But also, if you're a young person not in education, employment or training, actually what it'll do is it'll register you with adult learning at that point. So you can then access a whole plethora of different courses subject to availability and subject to eligibility. But you can, from everything from, you know, doing SIA training to actually get that qualification so you can go out and start earning money. So it's more than just volunteering on that weekend. Actually, you're going to be part of that Luton family, that Luton Festival Maker family. And it's great that Luton Rising, our airport, is supporting us to actually put on a proper and big welcoming team for people. As I said, those 100,000 people as they come into Luton to celebrate 3 days of biggest music in the world at that point. Obviously, Glastonbury. Glastonbury's a few weeks later, but
I did have to look down the list. I must admit, I'm of that age that I could see the picture, I know who it is, or listen to the music, but the name and the picture wasn't quite going together. It's like, who's that? Oh no, now I know who that is.
So, you know, we've done this Friday and Saturday announcements so far, and Greg James has just announced on BBC Radio 1 that Ray, 6 times Brit Award winner this year alone, is headlining on the Saturday. What is going to be absolutely crazy. Such an amazing person to be headlining that Saturday show. Alongside her, there's people like Rag and Bone Man playing. There's Joel Conan, who's a guy. He did like a that one. I don't know how else to describe. You always see him on Love Island. You know, one of those DJs who always appears on that. But then when we look at the Friday as well, Chasing Status. You know, last time they played Radio 1's, or first time they played Radio 1's big weekend was 2009 in Swindon, and now they're headlining the Friday main stage along with Becky Hill, Ella Henderson. You know, Eric Perez. It's absolutely an incredible lineup to have literally in our town. It is going to be the best thing for the town, for the economy, for young people in our town, you know, something to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the best place in Luton for it to be, because you've kind of got the motorway, you've kind of got the train, you've kind of got everything that kind of sits you in that, but you're still in town. It's so easy just to walk in and out of the town centre itself, and to hear, because everyone's going to hear that wherever you are, whether it's on the TV, and it's going to be on the radio, and it's happening in your town. I know that is it like 3 days time or something? The tickets go on sale as well.
So tickets go. So it's Tuesday the 19th day. So Wednesday the 20th, we announced the Sunday, or Radio 1 will announce the Sunday headliners and the acts. And then on Thursday the 21st at 5 p.m, tickets go on sale via the BBC Radio 1 website. Tickets are £29.75 plus then a £4.50 booking fee. And it's really great because actually, if you are a Luton resident in LU1 to LU4, there's 40% of tickets reserved for you. They're reserved for a week. So actually, you've got 40% of tickets a day reserved to you. If you're then if you're LU5 to LU7, if you're Hemel Hempstead postcode, Stevenage postcode, Milton Keynes postcode, or St Albans postcode, there's a further 30% reserved for those postcodes, and then there's 30% on sale for the general UK sale. But what I think it's worth saying is those tickets LU1 to LU4 or LU5 to LU7, depending where you are, they're on sale or only reserved for a week. So make sure you get in there, make sure you get those tickets, because actually after that they go on to general sale as well. So it's really, it's a real great opportunity for people in Luton to go and see this, and it's affordable. Under £30 for a day's music. You would pay 80, 90, £100 plus for just one of these performers, let alone a whole
Yeah.
plethora of them.
I think that
as
was what
well.
was the worry was to start off with when it was this big announcement and they're coming to Luton. It's like, but yeah, I bet it's going to be stupid amount of money, but it hasn't. They've kept it low, and it is amazing.
And I think what's absolutely brilliant as well, I haven't managed to do this morning's BBC introducing stage yet, but yesterday they announced 6 introducing acts. 3 of those are young Luton people, young Luton artists who are actually performing on the BBC introducing stage. Another one of those is from Bedford, and then there's 2 others from a 3 counties area. So that's absolutely amazing. We're giving our young people this opportunity to be on literally a world stage on BBC iPlayer, playing, on BBC Sounds, playing their music. It's just absolutely incredible. But I think probably coming back to our volunteering.
Yes, yeah, we definitely.
That's what I was meant to be talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I suppose it's really key to say what our role of our volunteers will do. So our Luton Rising Festival makers will be meeting and greeting people across the town as they come in. As I said, there's over 100,000 people on that weekend. So we expect a lot of people will come in via trains. So there might be at Parkway, there might be at Central Station. We'll have people across the town as well, welcoming, directing people, creating that festival atmosphere, getting the party started as people make their way up to Stockwood Park. We'll also have people in Capability Green, so that's going to be a drop-off point as well for people. So if people are dropping people off, they can drop them off in Capability Green. So that will be managed as well by our volunteers, our festival makers. And really, what we want you to do is I say, make that excitement in the town. One of our biggest selling points as Luton is actually Lutonians. And the diversity of Lutonians. So it's absolutely vital, those people coming into a town, have a really good, great welcome. What do you get for as being a Luton Rising Festival maker, though? What do you get in return? So apart from, I've already mentioned that offer of training, as you've mentioned, Shelley, that offer of, that putting it on your CV that you've been volunteering, and, it really helps young people. There'll also be some branded, you'll get a branded t-shirt, you'll get a tote bag, a water bottle, a branded cap, some weather dependent clothing, because hey, it's May and we can't guarantee the weather in the UK. Lunch on the days you're volunteering, and also snacks. We are working on a few of the things, but they are top secret at the moment, and I can't say what they are, because I wouldn't want to say what they were and then we didn't manage to pull them off. But we're working some other bits and pieces as well to thank our volunteers for their for joining us. And we're looking for around about 100 volunteers for each of those days. 100 volunteers for a Friday, 100 volunteers for a Saturday, 100 volunteers for a Sunday. And so the shifts pattern wise as it was, so on a Friday it will probably be from about 12 till 6ish. We expect most people, gates open at 4, we expect most people will be on site by 6, half 6. And because it'll go on 4 till 11 is the music on Friday, sorry. On this Saturday, it'll be around sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock through to about 5, so full day, and the same on the Sunday. Again, we expect most people to be on site by 5 o'clock, because its music is from 1 till 10 on the Saturday and on the Sunday. So we're not asking volunteers to be there in the evening when it's dark, that'll be managed by a different team. But just creating that atmosphere on the way up into Stockwood Park is that main request, a main ask. And as I can't say it enough, it's a great opportunity to be involved in something really special for the town, and put Luton on the map. It's worth millions to the economy of the town as well, but also, as we said, Ray, Rag and Bone Man, Chasing Status, Ella Henderson, Joel Donan, I can't even think of who else, H. I had to Google who H was. I've got to say, it's apparently he's a really big rapper who's got a huge following. I didn't know who he was. But Griff was announced today as well. Absolutely incredible pops, and there is so much and we've still got another days of announcements to go. That's the incredible thing, you know. And we got told, you know, Friday was good, Saturday was better, Sunday is going to be the big one. So
I didn't really push it all for Sunday.
yeah,
Wow.
but what I will say is we literally, everyone always asks us and go, well, who's playing? Who's playing? And I can say, hand on heart, we do not know. We are literally listening to a Radio 1 with a WhatsApp group of everyone working on it at the same time as everyone else going, oh, they've just announced this person. So we are absolutely in the dark as well. I've had to do some really quick research on some of these people.
I think that's amazing that you lot are keeping on your toes as well.
we literally, I think people think we're keeping the biggest secret, like, and we're not. We do not know who is performing until Greg announces it at 8 o'clock every morning on Radio 1. So how do people volunteer for to be a Luton Rising festival maker? So they can go to the Step Forward website. If you go into, just put into Google Step Forward volunteering, it'll pull it up. Fill out the form there. Even if you did an initial expression of interest, you still need to do this same form. You know, we had lots of people when it was first announced that people said, and I know you had Tamar on your show, and lots of people sort of emailed in and sort of said, absolutely, I want to volunteer. Even if you've done that, we've emailed you all back now. You should have had an email from us last night, but you still need to register via this because this will capture more information of what we need, things, and then you'll be sent a link to join that adult learning training sessions as well at different dates. A few key dates, I think, just to say as well, what if you are looking at volunteering. So you'll need to do this 2.5-hour session with adult learning. As I mentioned, there's going to be multiple dates of those you can choose from. On the Saturday, the 11th of May, from 9:30 to 12, we're going to have a Luton Family Maker session, and this is basically an opportunity for all volunteers to meet everyone and start creating that fun family and building that atmosphere. And then on May the 20th, so the Monday before the festival on the Friday, we've got a 1-hour briefing. And that is just that final briefing, just to make sure everyone's ready, make sure everyone's got their goodie bags, their t-shirts, all of those things available. So there's just a couple of those key dates, about 11th and 20th, and then the ask is just one day join the festival. If you want to do more than one, absolutely, that's amazing. But just then, that one day over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to join us as a Luton Rising festival maker.
I mean, it's already. I mean, everyone talks about wellness and health and well-being and things. Volunteering is one of those ones. There's the 5 key things to make your life better, and the more that I push volunteering, as much or as little as you can do, really does make a difference. And it's surprising what you know as a person that you can actually share with someone. So when people are coming into the town, if they're saying, I just want something to eat or something, my favorite restaurant is, just go down there, kind of thing. You know, you welcome them into your town. I say a lot about Luton, in as much as I could go to any other town and you just go for a curry. I could bring you into Luton and I could give you a curry from so many different parts of the world, and it's very specific and it's a very specific taste. And that's just one little thing of how Luton is. We need to be looking after our culture a lot more, and be promoting it. And Luton,
absolutely. And I think, you know, there's going to be a number of, I suppose, fringe activities around the festival as well. So I know that there's things being planned, for example, like the Hat Factory. I know some of our pubs are planning things, you know, after parties and those sort of things as well, to really, again, make sure. And there's going to be viewing parties across the town as well. So actually, if you aren't lucky enough to get a ticket, you don't fancy volunteering, you'll be able to go into different places and view it on BBC iPlayer, BBC One at points, or listen to it on BBC Sounds app as well on your radio digital speaker or on your mobile. It's almost like I've listened to it too much at the moment, haven't I?
Yeah, don't say any names because it might set off something around the house.
Well, I'm actually sitting in the office, so this isn't my house behind me, it's just a screen. So I'm sitting in the town hall at the moment, but
Well, it's been fantastic to have you on. We'll have all the links, so you can got clickable links everywhere, all on my sort of our social media, on this recording, so you don't have any reason to miss not knowing where the link is or what you need to look for. We'll have some of you guys on as we're on the lead up as well, because we are really excited to hear about what's going on, because it is something for our town and it's going to be absolutely amazing.
The town is going to go off that weekend, and let's not forget on that Monday as well, we've got Carnival going on as well. So how to round off a weekend, 3-day music festival, and then Carnival on the Monday as well. It's just going to be, I think we should publicly declare now that Tuesday should be a bank holiday as well in Luton.
It's got to be.
I think no one goes into work on the Tuesday. I think just let's see if we could the Republic of Luton has a bank holiday on Tuesday.
Don't try calling the council. You're not going to get an answer.
We'll be all asleep.
Yeah, no, can't cope.
Thanks very much for having me, Shelley.
We'll be chatting again soon.
Super. Cheers. Bye now.
Yeah, I was very giggly this morning.
You know what? I kept forgetting that was actually a video, because I kept wanting to say, because when he said about H, I thought, what, H from Steps? Why are we having H from Steps coming? Why are we doing that? No, it's not. This is some kind of somebody else that I'm obviously far too old to understand. But I'm so excited. So excited. I volunteered. For anyone who knows me, I used to volunteer at Ampthill Festival. I know how all of that works. The fact that they don't know who is, or he doesn't know who is going to be on the Sunday. That's how it is. That is how it is. Yeah. It's a whole thing. You have to. It's you're not allowed to. You're just not allowed to say until.
Yeah, I was going to ask if they're not telling them because they don't trust Scott. Gossip.
They don't trust anybody. They don't trust anybody.
No.
That's the whole thing. They don't trust anybody, and they have to keep it under wraps right until the last minute. And volunteering, as I've done for a number of years, volunteering at music events, I mean, yeah, it's just lovely. So anybody out there who's thinking about it, just go and do it. If that's the way you're going to get in, go and be a volunteer. I'm not volunteering because I'm just going to buy a ticket and I want to go, because I've done those music volunteers for many years. So I'm just going. But it's a fabulous way to be involved. And look what's coming to Luton.
Yes. I mean, will be bringing this up because, as I said in the video, that I'm going to say this very publicly to everyone that's going to watch this. I am not going back into scouting, but
does somebody think you are?
Because I'm volunteering a few times, why don't I make it official? And it's become no, not going to happen. I will come up and help, and that's it. But when I do see them tomorrow, because I know there's a few of them that are doing their King Scout Award, and they do need some volunteers, like volunteering time. Something like that would be ideal.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
There's a few in Luton that I know that are doing their Kings. Obviously, not Jake, our little Jake, has already got his volunteering well and truly.
Yeah, but maybe he needs to volunteer for this anyway, just so that he can go and be involved.
Because, as Scott said to me just before the recording, when I said to him about it, anyone over the age of 16 can just be a volunteer. Anyone over the age of 14 can volunteer with some kind of adult with them. So it's whether it's a parent or whether it's somebody nominated to be your adult. But yeah, it's 16 that you can then be a volunteer. So yeah. And it's good how they've taken you under their wing and doing other things with you. Which it's fantastic. Fantastic.
It's it's just one of those things when you are I volunteer for many, many different things, but volunteering at music events, especially if you like music, is just something just really, really special. And the fact that, you know, they're letting 14-year-olds to go and volunteer with somebody, that's an opportunity for them to go and, you know, go and have.
Like they've got so many different roles and so many different things that they're doing that, it is going to be really amazing.
Luton, obviously. Yeah, look what we got.
Yes, so there's links in the chat and in the bits and pieces. So you've got how to become a volunteer. There's the link that's there, and also then the other link that's there is for tickets on sale Thursday 5 o'clock, and you've got a week for Lutonians to then have their share of that percentage that's put to one side. Anything that's then not sold, if there's nothing sold for that, it just goes into general sale. Yeah.
And that's really good because otherwise, you know, I don't know how many times I've sat with 3 devices at 10 o'clock ready for release of tickets for things, you know, and you're trying to manage that. And then after 10 minutes, there's none left, you know, it's, So the fact that we within Luton have got that time to then be able to buy our tickets, I think is really good. Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So coming to the end of the show, what else have you got to share before we go?
Well, we've just got, and I've just had a look, and I forgot to actually put a banner thing up for it. Deez just messaged us. Go on to our Facebook pages and bits and pieces. The event that we've got coming up is the streaming of the Cassius X Becoming Ali film. And we've also then got the discussion panel as part of it. And that's going to be part of the Hat Factory. That is then, I'm just going to present it on the screen so you actually then see the, like the slide for it. I can't quite remember who Deez said. Deez, can you actually message it somewhere? Of who we've actually got on the panel. I think there's two different panels so far, and I think there's going to be either 3 or 4 just talking about general boxing. Let me see if I can share the screen now. There, I can do it now. So, so we've got
Tracy and Ticey.
Yeah. So you've got that. Doors are opening at 7:30 because the actual event will start at 8:15. The event will start at 8:15.
Why are you saying it like that? She's saying it like that because the event is going to be starting at 8:15. So don't be late because that is when it's starting. Doors open.
So you've got refreshments and you've got the panel as part of it, and we're watching obviously the movie. As you can see, there's lots of people then behind that. So we're actually then helping them out with putting the panel together and to actually publicise the event as well. So it might be that a bit of a niche thing, I suppose, with boxing, but when you know Ali's story, when you know the whole Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali transition, it's not necessarily just boxing. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I've not watched the film or anything, but knowing his story and stuff. So it wouldn't necessarily just put it down to it's a boxing film kind of thing.
No. And it's about him as a person.
Yeah.
And his journey. And again, we in Luton we have boxers, you know, Ticey's only just won the week before. You know, there's different boxing groups within Luton, and it's something that, you know, is quite passionate for some people. So yeah, come out, come and watch it, and then come and have that discussion with the panel, because that will be interesting as well. So that is next Thursday. It's the 28th of March.
Yes.
Just before most people have then got a long weekend. So you haven't got to get out for work the next day.
No, we're not out on a school night as such.
Not a school night, because there ain't no school. So we want to see you out there. Any info you need, either contact one of us or have a look on our events page. And yeah, let's see you down there. And I think that's about it. But we are around next week, Tuesday as well, as usual, 12 noon. We will get Wayne Pilgrim back on again at some point, because he's got lots of things going on. And Deez just put, so with the becoming Ali, lots to talk about. Ali as an activist, discipline. Yes, it's not a school night, so no excuse. You haven't got to get up in the morning either. Tickets are £6.
Yes,
tickets are £6.
That's including your booking fee, the £6.
That's even better.
Light
Including fee.
refreshments.
Right, light refreshments. That's going to be snacks.
Snacks. Do not be coming in and
Don't
expecting.
be looking for rice and peas because it ain't there.
No.
It's light refreshments.
Nibbles. That's what you're getting, is nibbles.
I know Simply Deez, when we do things, we like to do our rice and peas and that, but this is just little nibbles. So get your dinner first and then
there's
come
bar
down.
there as well. So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So see you all next week, Tuesday, 12 o'clock as usual. And have a good week. And yeah, see you all. Bye.
So the